Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here at SMPTE 2019. This is Thomas Bause Mason. Now, you are the Director of Standards Development for SMPTE, which is a full-time role.
Yeah.
So what is a typical day, month, year like for you? What is your process?
Well, I really have three parts in this job, right? So, I'm dealing with headquarters issues. We have obviously some technical infrastructure at SMPTE headquarters. So dealing with that, I have a staff of two. We take care of desktop support, everything. So if there are any, critical issues, our staff experience, we on it. Mm-hmm. We run the SMPTE platforms. We have a standards development collaboration tool we're using. We have tools in AWS, so there's some. But we also, the other part of it is, and that's probably the bigger part, is standards development. I'm supporting standards development. I'm supporting the process. So if there are any questions about the process, then people come to me. Mm-hmm. We have an operations manual which kind of explains how the work is supposed to be done. We have administrative guidelines.
You mean the process for something to become a standard?
How do people apply for a standard? How do they get work done in SMPTE? Then process questions about how meetings are supposed to be conducted. We have quarterly TC meetings where people get together to actively in person work on standards development issues. We have 10 technology committees in SMPTE for various areas of technology, which come together there, and then we conduct business for these technology committees to move forward on standards development. And part of that role is also, go out there as a kind of an ambassador to, educate people on what SMPTE's work is about, what we're working on, how they can engage with us, and how they can become SMPTE members and so on.
Interesting, because I think we talked about this a little bit last year, which is what the process is like, and I'm sure it's a long process. Yeah. But what if there's somebody out there that's they're having a workflow issue, they have an idea that for a standard.
Yeah.
What would their initial step be to work with SMPTE?
They would approach either me or the standards vice president, or they would go to one of our TC chairs. For a TC, they think this technology would apply to. Mm-hmm. Right, and then we would have a discussion with them usually, try to understand what their project is about, and then if it's suitable for SMPTE, and we tell them, how they can prepare themselves to apply. Everybody can apply for a new project in SMPTE, so that we don't have any barriers there. Okay. Once you apply, you have to become a SMPTE member to actively work on this. But we have a form, it's an administrative guideline, which is an application form for a new project. You can fill that out, send it to the standards vice president or to one of the TC chairs, and basically start from there. We're going to review that, and then we go through a project review in SMPTE where we, the members of a TC can decide, is this something we should undertake? Mm-hmm. And usually this is just a performer kind of examination of the project to make sure that there are no process issues, right? Okay. It's not an evaluation really of the technical validity of the project, right? And once that is done, you create a project in our collaboration tool, online collaboration tool. Okay. And then we form a group, and you can conduct meetings and go from there.
And how long does it typically take? I'm sure it's always different, but how long does it typically take for a standard to become a standard?
Yeah, I mean that's very hard to say, because a lot of this we're a very small staff. SMPTE staff does not drive the project, so all that has to be done through volunteers. Usually, if somebody applies for a project, he should make sure that he at least has two proponents on his project, meaning people who really are going to be actively involved and drive this project forward. Obviously, you want to have more people involved. Yeah. At the end, it comes down to industry consensus because we have a balloting process. So you need to try to get as many people involved in this as possible to make it really relevant. Mm-hmm. So if you have a very important project and you want to really drive it through, you have to bring the resources, and more resources you bring, as fast as you're going to be. So we have efforts which we could push through in 1.5 years. We have efforts which usually I would say an average it takes 2 years to create a standard. We have different other types of documents where it's from 5 weeks to a year or so, right?
Right. So
It varies depending on the resources you bring to SMPTE. It varies on the project you're doing, the complexity of the project, right? So if you're looking at one of the prime project IMF, for example, or
Right.
ST2110. A lot of people are involved. There's a lot of push from the studios or from broadcasters to get this technology out. But these are very complex efforts. And the first documents came out in ST2110, came out after 2 years. And now the work continues. So it's an ongoing effort over the years to add more functionality to the standard. And so it's multi-year, definitely, right?
Sure.
But again, it depends all how much resources you bring and how complex the topic is.
Well, Thomas, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
always
you.
happy to be here.
Yeah. Thanks. Randy Altman, Thomas Bause Mason, SMPTE 2019.